Are you tired of having hip soreness the following day after a round of disc golf? Trust me, we've all been there. Today, I'll be showing you 5 exercises that can improve your hip strength and put an end to that post-game discomfort. Enhancing hip strength is not just about comfort. It's a key factor in improving performance. Strong hips enable effective force transfer from the lower body to the upper body. That might sound familiar. Proper hip strength ensures better alignment and accuracy during throwing motions. This is critical for pelvic and trunk rotation, ultimately leading to increased torque and velocity. Let's get to it, and feel free to follow along as I show you the following movements. The 90-90 stretch helps increase hip mobility by targeting internal and external rotation of the hips. This stretch activates the glute muscles in the glutes, hip flexors, and rotators, preparing the muscles for heavy load movements or continuous planting and bracing in disc golf. So you'll want to start on the floor. So you'll take your butt, plant your butt on the floor, hands off to the side, flex the toes towards you, about shoulder width apart. What we're going to do here is drop our knees to the right, creating 2 90-degree angles with our legs. From here, you'll just come back to start and drop them to the left. One thing to keep in mind with the 90-90 stretch is notice how my knee is slightly behind my heel. What you want to do is make sure when your knees come down that you're not stacking that knee on top of that other leg. So there should be enough room for you to go 90-90 and make contact on the floor with your knees. The wall sit helps increase muscular strength and joint stabilization. They work your quads, glutes, calves, and core, but strengthening the glutes helps improve that hip rotation. So for the wall sit, obviously we need a wall. What you want to do, start off with your feet hip width apart. You want to make sure when you're in the wall sit that your knees make a 90-degree angle. So here, I'll lean against the wall, just let my butt come all the way down. So my knees are at 90 degrees and you should feel your legs fire up. What we'll do is hold this position, maintaining our back against the wall. The standing hip rotation will target the muscles responsible for, well, you guessed it, hip rotation. Having increased hip strength and rotation is important when planting during our X step. For the standing hip rotation, you'll need a PVC pipe or a stick, something to help you maintain balance. Here, I'll pick up one leg all the way up to 90 degrees, put my hand on top of that thigh. From here, you're gonna point your toes up and you're gonna rotate your heel laterally to the right. And you bring it back in to start. And again, rotate it out to the right, bring it back in. So what we're working on here is internal hip rotation. You wanna make sure you do both sides. Exposing myself here a little bit, you'll notice that I have more internal rotation on my left side than I do on my right side. That's the standing hip rotation. The single leg deadlift is a good way to help strengthen the hip joint. It is a unilateral exercise that helps improve mobility, strength, and the function of the hip while increasing internal hip rotation. So for the single leg internal hip rotation, we'll start off with our left leg. You're gonna find your balance, slightly pick up that right leg. From here, we're gonna hinge into a deadlift, sending our hips back into the wall while we maintain a nice flat back. So from here, we're gonna hinge into that single leg deadlift. If you need to, use the arms to help you maintain balance. From here, what you wanna do is you're gonna take the hip with the leg that's raised and you're gonna turn it to face the other hip. So notice here how we're working on that internal rotation on that left leg. Then you'll slightly return back to the starting deadlift position, stand right back up. So you want to make sure you do both sides. So now we'll do our right side here. Left leg comes slightly up. We'll hinge into a deadlift using those arms to help maintain balance. You're going to take that left hip, make sure it's facing that right hip, and we'll rotate back to the deadlift, and come right back up to standing. The Curtsy Squat is great for improving hip strength, mobility, and stability. The Curtsy Squat mimics the X step. By performing the Curtsy Squat, it'll help increase hip strength and rotation. Want to make sure we start off with our legs hip width apart. In this case, my left leg will be my lead leg, and my right leg will be my trailing leg. What I want to do is take my right leg and lunge it laterally behind my lead leg. So to do that, lunge back. As you're lunging down, that knee should Briefly touch the ground behind that lead leg heel and come back up to start. So again, lunge down, knee slightly touches the ground, and come right back up to start. You want to make sure you do both sides. So now my right leg will be the lead leg and my left leg is the trailing leg. Same thing, lunge laterally, knee comes slightly behind that heel, tap, come right back up to start. As we wrap up, remember that incorporating these hip strengthening exercises into your routine is not just a remedy for soreness, but it is a stepping stone to elevating our disc golf game. Consistency is key. The more you integrate these movements into your practice, the more you'll notice improved stability, power, and strength in your throws. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Seraph out.